Nothing happens in one's life until the mind changes because as you think, so are you. Hello, friends. This is Stella, your regular host on the Family Enrichment Hub, your center for family learning and for growth. I do hope you had a beautiful time during the Christmas season. I'm going to be continuing our series on money matters within the family. And today I'm going to be discussing with us how the scarcity mentality affects our money matters at household level. A scarcity mentality is a limiting belief system that you've held in your mind over a period of time with regard to resources and more specifically with regard to money. It's a mindset that is always telling you that resources are scarce, resources are never enough, resources are for competing for. That is a scarcity mentality. And you may be wondering, how does this relate to money matters within the family? It has everything to do with it because for you to achieve anything, for you to change the direction, the trajectory of your finances, it all starts with your mind. And so your relationship and what you think about money has everything to do with how much of it you'll have and the quality of life that you will live at individual basis and at household level. And so it's important for us to discuss how the scarcity mentality manifests and affects our money relationships within our different households. People develop scarcity mentalities basing on their upbringing. If you grew up in a family where resources were scarce, it was a matter of struggle, it was a matter of everything was never enough, it was competitive. You eventually develop a mindset of resources will never be enough. And so you will manifest scarcity and lack in everything that you do because that is the upbringing that you had. And then also the environment that we live in, the people we stay with, the friends we interact with on a regular basis, they have a bearing on the kind of mindset that we develop with time. If majority of your friends and the associations that you keep are people who are negative and bent on negative confessions, there is no money, money is lacking, money is so difficult to get by, that will also affect your mindset. You'll find yourself living that out because that is the company that you're keeping. Allow me to share some of the manifestations of the scarcity mindset amongst ourselves. People who are always begging in their network of friends and family and colleagues. We've met people who do rounds of begging. If this week they have begged a relative, next week they are begging a colleague, the other week they are begging a friend, and then they continue with that cycle. That is a scarcity mentality, which reveals the fact that they are living in a state of lack. They are living in a state of poverty. They are living in a limited space where they believe that for them to prosper and move forward, it has to be another person to always hold their hand and support them. We've also met people who over bargain in the different shopping centers. For instance, you find somebody bargaining for fuel in the petrol station. How can you bargain for the price of fuel to be reduced for you? It's extremely disgusting and shows that that is a poverty and a scarcity mentality that you're manifesting. I've also heard of stories of people who have traveled overseas, and while they are in the shopping malls, they speak in the direction of, we are coming from Africa where there is no money, we are poor, so you better reduce for us the price accordingly. That is extremely disgusting and a true manifestation of the scarcity and poverty mentality, which is pursuing you even where you have traveled to other countries. This mentality will play out wherever you are. We've also met people who do not make a phone call. All they do is to beep others. With the exception of students who do not earn an income, I do not have kind words for somebody who can afford to buy a phone, but they cannot afford to buy airtime to make a call. Airtime is as cheap as 500 Uganda shillings. So once you cannot even afford to load airtime on your phone, that kind of person is somebody I personally cannot do business with because they are communicating that they are going to be a burden, they are going to be a cross on my back. They are coming to collect and not coming to bring value to the partnership that we would otherwise have together. So, beeping instead of making a phone call is a true manifestation of scarcity and poverty mentality. We've also seen greedy and selfish people. We see them every time that we attend outdoor parties. When it's time for serving food, you find somebody piling food on their plate and they're only going to eat a quarter of it. It's extremely disgusting because what you're showing is that you're living in a place of lack. You're living a very limited life. And so, on every opportunity that you get, you must collect and pile for yourself, whether you need it or you do not need it. That's a manifestation of a scarcity mentality in your life. We've also met people who love to admire and pick on other people's stuff. You see somebody's watch, you see somebody's phone, you see a nice dress, and you want to take it for yourself. That is a true manifestation of a scarcity and a poverty mentality. And then I've also had confessions like, all rich people are thieves. I don't believe that all rich people are thieves. There will always be the exceptions. But I truly believe rich people take the trouble to develop their minds and develop and grow their wealth to the point where they are. So for you to make a statement like, that is a thief, to jeer them, to insult them, and make a mockery of them is totally unacceptable. And like they say, you cannot attract what you don't celebrate. If you don't celebrate the good things that are happening in rich people's life, you will not attract those blessings. You see somebody driving a sleek car on the road, and all you can afford to do is to mock them. You will not attract that kind of blessing because you do not celebrate it. Actually, it reveals the fact that you're loaded with envy, you're loaded with jealousy, you don't wish people well. You think that good things are only supposed to be yours. You've also met people who blame everybody else for their financial troubles except themselves. You hear things like, if it wasn't for my boss who maliced me. You hear statements like, if it wasn't for the school fees which I paid for all the people that I paid for, I think I would be very far in life. Those are unfortunate statements which speak to the fact that you do not take personal responsibility for your financial woes and you want to blame it on others. That is a scarcity and a poverty mentality because you still have everything that it takes for you to prosper and to grow yourself with regard to finances without using the excuses of other people. You've also heard statements like, money is evil. And so for you to be holy, you must not have a lot of money. That's a limiting belief. It's a poverty and a scarcity mentality that will not take you far. We've also heard people confess things like, there is always no money. I don't have money. Money is not easy to get by. Money is difficult to get. Those are negative confessions, which we all make innocently, by the way. But what we need to appreciate is that what we confess is what we shall eventually manifest. No wonder many amongst us struggle with finances because you've chosen to speak negatively with regard to money. There are also those that we have met who fear to spend the money that they've made because they fear what people are going to talk about them. People will say, we are rich, and so we better spend in a very frugal manner so that people do not know the quantity of blessings that we've gotten. That speaks to the fact that you're still holding on to your limiting, your scarcity, and lack mentality that you grew up with. So you're not yet released, you're not yet free to enjoy the blessings of abundance that you have made. Allow me share some insights. Scarcity creates more scarcity. Like they say, what you focus on, you magnify. You focus on scarcity. You focus on negative confessions like there is no money. I don't have money. Money is not easy to get by. You're creating the conditions that are going to manifest the very confessions that you're making. A scarcity mindset can be likened to a bad tree. For you to deal with that tree, you have to cut it down right from the roots and plant a new tree that you're going to tend to a point where it's going to bear good fruit for you. Scarcity mindset has to be totally uprooted from our minds. We need to remove it and replace it with abundance mindset in order for us to manifest abundance and financial growth and progress within our finances. Like the Bible says, be transformed by the renewing of your mind, because your mind is the engine of your life. Joyce Meyer tells us that where the mind goes, the man will follow. Your mind will take you to a destiny of progress, or it will take you to a destiny of lack and struggling and limitation and suffering. So your mind had better be taking you to a direction of abundance and prosperity. I used to listen to a TV program which was hosted by a gentleman who was called Rex Sekebwa. That program was called Tori Mwavo or Mutwego Gwe Mwavo. Literally translated means you are not poor. It's your mind that is poor. This gentleman emphasized the fact that once you have a sound mind, you should be able to use this mind to transform everything regarding your life. Allow me to conclude with this, friends. Your financial progress is locked up in your mind, because as you think, so are you. Your mind had better be thinking progress. Your mind had better be thinking abundance. Your mind had better be taking you to a place of celebration. It better be taking you to that destiny that you desire for yourself and for your family, and not leaving you in a place of lack and limitation. Your mind is the engine of your life. Thank you, friends, for listening in. Have a very happy New Year 2025. It's my prayer that we shall cross over with a new mindset that is going to help us manifest new results of abundance and progress and prosperity within our families. Catch you next week. Bye.